In this video, I'll show you several different ways to set up your iPhone so it will work with Apple CarPlay on your Pioneer NEX in-dash receiver using a wireless connection. Even though your particular in-dash receiver may have buttons on the side or across the bottom like this one, the on-screen operation in this demonstration is identical for the following Pioneer NEX models: AVH-W 4400 NEX, AVIC-W 6400 NEX, AVIC-W 8400 NEX. Do I need additional software on my phone or on my Pioneer in-dash receiver to make Apple CarPlay work with a wireless connection? Let's start off with the in-dash receiver. You should go to pioneerelectronics.com and download and install the latest firmware updates for your particular in-dash receiver to make sure that CarPlay will work with a wireless connection. Apple CarPlay requires an iPhone 5 or newer with the latest version of iOS installed on the phone. Please note, this is a one-time setup only. You don't need to do this each time you start your vehicle, just the first time to get things set up correctly. From this point forward, the in-dash receiver and your iPhone will automatically connect to each other each time you start your vehicle. Before we get started with CarPlay and the wireless connection between the phone and your Pioneer NEX in-dash receiver, let's check out a couple of settings on both the phone and the in-dash receiver to make sure we're all set up and ready to go. Please note that I have the vehicle parked with the parking brake engaged to access the settings on the in-dash receiver. Let's touch the gears up here, and I want to go to the toolbox. And under the toolbox, I want to check my smartphone related settings. Let's open that. Driving position is the one I'm after right here, and we want to make sure that that is in the left. I'm making this video for the North American marketplace, and we want to keep that on the left for this video. We'll go back up. I want to scroll down a little bit here, and I want to check the Wi-Fi settings and make sure my Wi-Fi is switched on for the in-dash receiver. And we'll go up again. And the last thing I want to check is my Bluetooth settings. And under Bluetooth, I want to make sure that the visibility of the in-dash receiver is switched on. And we're all set up and ready to go there. So we'll just close that out with the X. And we'll touch the settings. And under the settings, I have the Wi-Fi switched on right now, and we're connected to a network, but you don't need to be connected to a network. It doesn't matter if you are or you aren't. And I also have Bluetooth switched on. Now that's very important because the first step of this process is to connect the phone and the in-dash receiver through Bluetooth. And we'll do that now. So with Bluetooth switched on, I'm going to open that up, and that will search for devices. This is the in-dash receiver I want to connect with, so I'll select it on the phone. And that will generate a pairing request. So the pairing request is 535089. That's the code number. That's the same number here, 535089. So we will say pair on the phone and yes on the in-dash receiver. And we will also allow it to sync contacts. And now the two devices are paired. Now, with the Bluetooth window remaining open on the phone, let's touch the home button. And we'll open the telephone window here. And this searches for devices to connect to the phone. Here's Harry's iPhone. That's the one. We're going to select that. And this says, now check the phone to complete the connection. And over on the phone it says, do you want to use CarPlay? We will say yes, use CarPlay. And now you can see we've created a wireless connection to Apple CarPlay. Here's another way that you can connect your iPhone to your Pioneer NEX in-dash receiver so it'll work with Apple CarPlay with a wireless connection. Please note, this connection method will only work if no other devices are actively connected to the in-dash receiver through Bluetooth or through CarPlay. Please note that I have done a complete system restore on the in-dash receiver, and I've reset all the settings on the iPhone so the two pieces have not seen each other before. And we're going to check the settings on the in-dash receiver again. I want to go to the toolbox up here and my smartphone related settings. Remember, I want the driving position set to left. We'll go back up here, and I want my Wi-Fi settings switched on. And finally, we're going to go down to the Bluetooth settings here and make sure that my visibility is switched on. That'll do. Now, over on the phone, I'm going to open up my settings menu here, and I'm going to make sure that Bluetooth is switched on and my Wi-Fi is also switched on. You can see that it's connected to a network right now. That's fine, nothing to worry about there. Now let's scroll down a little bit further to the general settings, and under the general settings, let's open the CarPlay window. There are no cars available right now, but if I press and hold the microphone button here for a few seconds, the system will search for devices to connect with CarPlay. And this generates a pairing request. It's the same number here, so we'll say pair here, and yes on the in-dash receiver, and we will allow contacts to be synced. And you can see that we have completed the connection for Apple CarPlay with a wireless connection. Here's one more way that you can connect your Pioneer NEX in-dash receiver to your iPhone for Apple CarPlay with a wireless connection. But this time, we are going to plug the phone in through USB to let the phone and the in-dash receiver recognize each other. On the back panel of your Pioneer in-dash receiver, there are two USB ports. We're going to use USB port number 1 for Apple CarPlay. So take the USB extension that came in the box with your Pioneer receiver, plug it into USB port number 1, and run that up into the passenger compartment. Once again, let me check the settings on the in-dash receiver to make sure we're all set up and ready to go. We're going to touch the gears up here, and I'm going to come down to my smartphone related settings, and the driving position is set to left. That's what we want. And we'll scroll down here to the Wi-Fi settings. Wi-Fi is switched on. That's what we want there. And let's go down to the Bluetooth settings and make sure that the visibility on the in-dash receiver is set to on, and we should be all good to go there. Now over on the phone, let's touch the settings, and we can see that our Wi-Fi is on and it's connected to a network right now, and that's fine, but it doesn't need to be connected to a network as long as Wi-Fi is switched on. And here's our Bluetooth. You can see that Bluetooth is also switched on. That's all we'll need to do there. So I'm going to just close that up. Now here's my Lightning cable. It is connected to USB port number 1 on the back of the in-dash receiver. Once I've made that connection, I can just plug in to my iPhone. So now the system says, do you want to let this in-dash receiver work with CarPlay while the phone is locked? We'll say allow. And here's the important question. Do you want wireless CarPlay to work with your AVH-W 4400NEX? That's this in-dash receiver. We'll say yes. Enable wireless CarPlay. And that's all we need to do. At this point, we can just unplug the phone. Now, let's go out to our home screen. And we'll select the telephone here. And we'll select Harry's iPhone. And you can see that the connection has completed with the phone. Here you can see we have the clock, we have the phone signal indicator, and we have the phone battery life indicator here. This is the only indication that you'll get that you are actually using wireless CarPlay is the battery indicator from the phone right here. If the battery level gets low and I want to charge my phone, I can plug it into USB port number 1 on the back of the Pioneer NEX in-dash receiver. You can see that the battery indicator goes away, and the battery indicator on the phone now shows that it's charging.